Gross.
Or did you hear it?
Gosh, she sounded gross just hearing her. I have to press
Not even
continue.
good. She is not even good, right?
Ugh.
Ugh.
I don't like computerized competition. It upsets me.
Yeah.
I had a client go, "Hey, I have somebody you should meet." And I know it's all going in this direction. But so they set up a call. I didn't really know what it was. You know, one of those things you're like, yeah, because it's a client for years. I'm like, sure,
Yeah.
we'll do the call or whatever. The call was basically, they've created a software that will, like, from our podcasting, will lift whatever it is we're doing with our voices and make very believable. And she goes, and the space we want to get into is promos.
Right.
And so, like, and we know you do promos. I'm like, yeah, because I'm paid. Like, what? No, I'm not gonna, like, have you lift my voice so you don't have to pay me to do promos. It was so weird. I was like, okay, this is not a fun conversation for me.
Anna, you know, it's something.
The robots are taking over everything. It's fine.
I get, I don't want to exaggerate. Let's call it twice a day. So let's call it, twice. Let's call it 60 times a month. I get some requests similar to this. Hey, Vin, here's what we can do. You have great content. You have a ton of it. We can repackage it for it and sell it. You can make a shit ton of money selling these pie. We will take out the nuggets for you and package it and sell. Can you imagine? I've been giving this away for free for 10 years. Why would I start selling it now? Why?
I mean, in a way, I can kind of see that, but I would just tell you, you should just write a book and write an audiobook if you're going to, like, package stuff up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, I have another great book idea finally after all these years.
Yeah.
And
I know what it is, and it's very good.
Yeah, it's been ruminating. Ruminating is the word I like to use there. And
yep.
We'll see. Maybe. Speaking of ruminants, Belcampo, folks. Belcampo.
You know who likes to ruminate? Ruminants.
Ruminants.
You know who are really well-treated ruminants? Belcampo cows.
Yeah, look at us. They make happy cows. Wait, that's someone else's ad, right?
I think it is.
Happy cows make happy milk. Belcampo does not sell milk, Anna.
No.
They sell beef. And they sell the best beef.
It's what's for dinner. Is that Sam Elliott?
Yeah, beef. It's what's for dinner. Anna, I just had a pound of beef, a pound of Belcampo, the ground beef. Let me tell you what I did, Anna.
Ooh, yummy.
I took it. I'm going to give you the recipe. This is my Belcampo ad. I'm going to give you a Vinnie recipe.
Great.
I call it the Vinnie taco. I take the whole amount of meat and I'll put it in my big black skillet. Put it on medium heat and I'll let it start to simmer. Then I put some Mexican spice on it. No sugars, no grains.
You should use the Eat Happy
sugar.
Kitchen taco seasoning.
Well, Anna, what do you think I use? What do you think? Come on. You think I'm a rookie?
I'm just saying.
You think I'm a rookie?
Best taco seasoning in the world.
I meant to say in the middle of the Belcampo ad, use Anna seasoning.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll put that on while it's simmering. And then you know what I do, Anna? You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
I take some fresh jalapenos and I chop them up real tiny. I get those jalapenos real tiny and I just sprinkle them in there.
Do you leave the seeds in or do you discard the seeds?
I'm a Cajun.
Okay.
I leave the seeds in. I like my food to taste like something. I like it a little punch in my food.
Yeah. So
I leave the seeds. If you are sensitive to that kind of thing, get the seeds out of there. And then pro tip, I wash my hands a little bit because, you know, I'm going to rub my eyes, or being Italian, I'll probably scratch my balls at some point, and you don't want that jalapeno on your hands.
Right.
It's bad for your eyes and your balls. So I'll wash them right after that. Okay. And then I take the avocado, I slice it real thin. I'll put that around the plate. I take that Mexican cheese. What's the Mexican cheese? The white cheese, the queso?
The Jack, Monterey Jack.
I take that. Jack. Yeah. While it's simmering, I shave some of that in the plate. I got the avocado in there. I take just a little tomato and I mince it up.
You should.
I take some extra jalapeno and I put it with the tomato. I salt that a little bit while I'm waiting for it over here. And then I put that whole pound on the plate and I mix all of it in. The jalapenos, the tomatoes, the cheese, The guacamole, not the guacamole, but the what do you call it? The avocado. And then when it's all mixed up, big pile in the middle of the plate. And I even took a picture of it. I'm going to show the picture. I took a picture of it tonight and told Scott Mulvaney to use it at will. I'm going to hold this up into the camera. If you guys think I'm making this up, and then I take a little dollop of creme fraiche right on the top, Anna.
I'm so proud of you.
Right on the top. Look at that. Can you see that?
That was awesome. Yeah.
Let me hold it that way.
That's better that way. Mm-hmm.
Look at that. So folks, you could go right over to YouTube, and I'm holding up the plate of food. I hammered that plate about 20 minutes ago. I was licking it when I was done. People go, how do you, NSNG, all you do is just sit there and eat meat? No, we'll be talking about that today.
Very easy.
But that's Belcampo right there. Belcampo beef. I love it. You want to save 20%? First time, put in promo code Vinnie, VINNIE, Belcampo.com. Love this company, folks. Can't get enough of it.
Vinnie, I got one of their whole chickens and I'm thawing it. I'm going to roast a whole chicken tomorrow.
How great. Have you had one yet?
Not one of their chickens, no.
It's going to change the way you feel about chicken.
I don't think it's really possible to do that, but I am very excited about it.
I'm
a fan of chicken. I'm a fan of beef. I'm a fan of pork. I'm a fan of fish.
So
I'm very excited to try this whole chicken.
You can shred that up, pull chicken, shred it and make the Vinnie taco with the chicken.
I could, yes, but this time I'm making the easiest roast chicken. It's called the easiest roasted chicken recipe in the first book.
So Anna, how did that do?
Herbs and lemon
as a recipe. How did that do?
That's great. Listen, I make stuff like that. People think that I'm making like full on fancy dinners every night. I'm not. I'm making stuff like what you make at night.
Whoa.
I just probably can do it much faster.
That's as fancy as I can get.
That's
me using multi-ingredients, folks.
I know. That's impressive.
Belcampo.com, folks. Belcampo, 20% off first time. If after the discount code is put in, you're still over $100, free shipping.
Here's what I would have done to tweak that recipe a little bit.
Go on.
And this is very similar to my quesadilla casserole. Take that, still use the pound of the thing, everything that you said. But as you're putting the pound of beef in there, I would put minced or chopped onion and a little chopped red bell pepper or green bell pepper as well, just to have some extra bulk. Because then you make the meal go a little further. You know what I mean?
Well, you see, a pound of meat for me with all that, it was more.
You were eating it all yourself. You weren't sharing it.
No, Serena's gone out to eat with her friend.
Okay, that's different. Yeah. But I just do that to make it last for two people. Yeah. Add a couple things in there if I don't have 2 pounds of ground beef to cook, and that what you made is very similar to the quesadilla casserole.
Sometimes what I do sometimes.
So I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. What I do sometimes is I'll add cilantro if I want to go in that direction.
Oh yeah.
Other times I will put onion, but I don't like to saute the onions. I like the white onions crunchy in there.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, I just sprinkle them.
I do not like raw onions.
This long,
I've never liked it.
About a half an inch long. I'll leave them.
Wow.
I'll get, just the little strings about a half an inch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put about a half an onion in there. Look, my great grandfather, my understanding of Papa Tortorich was that he ate an onion every day for his health, like an apple. He just bit into an onion.
Well, the thing about raw onions that's kind of cool is the oligosaccharides in them are good for your gut bacteria to chew up.
Yeah, and the quercetin and everything else.
That doesn't surprise me at all. That's people get very scared of onion, but I just don't think you could eat enough onion to like. I don't know. I mean, I know that there are some people who can't tolerate onions and garlic, and I get it.
Well, hang in there. I'm starting Pure Onion Club real soon.
I hope you do. You have onion butters coming out?
I should. I got some stuff.
I would get onion butters for sure. No, but I like putting onion in there. And then because we're cooking it with the full fat of the Belcampo meat, you don't have to like add anything else in there. Just the onion just cooks in the beef fat and it's awesome.
Belcampo.com, 20% off. This has been like a 7-minute ad for Belcampo.
It's fine. They'll be happy.
Belcampo.com. This is almost as long as an Elton John lead in.
No, it is. Where do you want to start today? We have a lot because you and I did a lot on the Friday show, but we did not get to everything, not even close.
By the way, Anna, everyone loves you on the Friday show. I don't know what that's all about.
I don't know either because it's the same as the Monday show, but with less music, maybe.
Yeah, it's a third less music.
It is a third. It is a third to 100% less music.
Here's one thing you will never hear on the Friday show. You'll never hear that. We don't.
I feel like you've played. I feel like you have played that though.
On the Friday show?
I feel like you have. But you'll never hear it from this point forward. You will never hear it.
Yeah. I didn't mean to play that on a Friday
Bible.
show. It was never meant to be on there. Yeah, this is only Monday show material. Bill hates when I do that. Now he's got to cut it out twice on.
He's got to carve it out.
Oh God, sorry, Bill. Didn't mean to do
fine.
that. Anna, you want to go right into? I got asked this question on Twitter yesterday. Twitter. Please,
sir, could you answer my tweet? Mr. Vinnie.
NSNG, is NSNG just another way of saying keto? The answer is no. No, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, ma'am. Okay, here's the deal. I have had people long before Bill Gates came up with the computer and before Google was Google.
Way before Bill Gates cheated on his wife.
Long before that. Back when Bill Gates couldn't afford a car. I was telling people no sugars, no grains, but most people never did it within keto. I live in keto for a very good reason. I almost died of cancer. And I do believe, and there's now a lot of stuff out there showing me to be right, that cancer loves sugar. They told me my cancer would be back within 5 years. That was in 2007. They said the
Hold on.
Go.
It's not 2013 or earlier.
What do you mean?
It's been 14 years.
Yeah. They told me the longest they've ever seen anyone go was 10 years. I'm at 14 years. No sign of cancer coming back. I've had a minimum amount of sugar. Minimum. No sugar tonight in my coffee. No sugar tonight in my tea. No sugar to stand beside me.
Well, that's not true.
No sugar to run with me.
No, you have one. You have a sugar run with you.
No.
Your sugar runs with you, and you run with your sugar.
I do. Can you say the words of songs on YouTube and
sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Bill,
because we're living in a material world, and I am a material girl. I don't know. That is the first song that sprung to my head because I'm a child of the 80s.
Yeah. So Anna, NSNG, my clients would say, well, my clients would not just want to eat meat. That was long before you had Sean Baker just telling people eat nothing but meat. Yeah, it works. Most people won't do that forever. Some people can, and I applaud them. As you can tell from my dinner tonight, I eat a lot of meat. I do eat vegetables.
But you had a nice variety of flavors in there.
Yeah, I did.
And avocado, and you had a little dairy and a little creme fraiche. You had a lot of flavor.
But, I eat broccoli, I eat cauliflower, I eat Brussels sprouts, asparagus.
You know what else would be good in there?
Go on.
Slice a couple of 2-3 little mushrooms. Slice them real thin.
Nope. No.
Be good, though.
I don't do the mushrooms cooked. I'll eat them raw. End of story. So,
okay, well, I will fight you on that.
Yeah, most people who did NSNG with me, all I did was take them off the sugar, grains, and seed oils, period.
Right.
And, they were eating higher fat, but most of my clients were never, ever in dietary ketosis. Now, they were metabolically flexible. What does that mean? When you're eating that much more fat, your body is making more ketones, and it learns how to use ketones in the absence of having too much sugar. But if you measured these people on any given day, you probably saw ketone bodies in their urine. They might have thrown a 0.3 to 0.5 on a millimolar test of the blood. you might be able to get something on a breathalyzer, but not enough to call it dietary ketosis.
Right. I was going to say,
Right?
don't they say you have to be 0.5 to 1.5 to be in dietary ketosis?
Yeah, I always say
technically.
I say 0.7, but yeah, it's, and you have to be there consistently where your body just starts living on ketone bodies. And so, yeah, most people who do this, who have lost 100, 150, 200 pounds, did not do strict keto. They just did strict no sugars, no grains, and they ate everything else. I interview a lot of these people, man. They eat salads. They eat, more vegetables than I do. I stick to a few cruciferous vegetables, and that's about it. But they go deep on the stuff, right? And they do just fine. Now, that being said, are there people who I think would benefit more from being in ketosis on NSNG? The answer is yes. No two ways about it. Absolutely yes. And here's why. Some people are metabolically broken, and you know who you are. If you're sleeping with you might be metabolically broken. If you're sleeping with a CPAP machine, you might be metabolically broken.
This comic is hilarious. God.
If you have an A1C of 5.6 or higher, you may be metabolically broken.
Oh, God, that's so funny.
If you
here goes
feel
another
like
one.
you're going to pass out every time you touch your toes or tie your shoes, you might be metabolically broken.
I didn't see that one coming.
No, you couldn't have. What else? If
high blood pressure,
if you're taking metformin or anything else to lower your blood sugar, you might be metabolically broken. If you have fatty liver disease and you never touch a drink, you might be metabolically broken.
Oh, that's that one actually. That's a sad, hilarious.
Listen, fatty liver disease and type 2 diabetes used to be called alcoholic. They didn't call it, they called it alcoholic diabetes and, alcoholic fatty liver disease. Now anyone can get it because of the way we're eating. I'm not making this stuff up, folks. I've been yelling about this stuff for years, right? So in your case, if you're considering, hey, maybe I'll go do what Dr. Fung says, and that's another way of doing it. If you get a doctor and you're doing a medical fast, that's another way of doing it, Anna. And it works. It really works. But let me be more than perfectly honest here. You don't need to do that if you just go into dietary ketosis, if you're metabolically broken. I see my buddy Trokalasian and Brian Linskas and all these guys doing this stuff every day. And if you need a doctor to tell you about this, Trokalasian is now, he's like in 39, he's licensed to operate in over 39 different states. I saw that on Instagram. Go look up Trokalasian Instagram. I think it came out today. He's on at least 39 different states. You can have a doctor like that. I'm giving this guy a free plug. I have no say-so in this. I'm just telling you something.
I have no idea how to spell his name.
Kalasian.
Spell his name.
K-A-L-A-T-R-O. Yeah.
That's
Dr.
his first
Tro.
name?
He goes, yeah, that's his first name. He goes by Dr. Tro. Do you see him?
No. How do you spell it?
T as in Tom, R as in Ricky, O as in O.
Okay. No, the last name.
Kalasian, K-A-L.
Okay.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to know how to spell this? It's like Kalayan.
Here you go. He's Dr. Tro on.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Dr. Tro.
Let's see. He's in how many states?
Oh, was that him before and after?
Yeah. He lost a lot of weight.
Good for him.
He's in 38 states.
Now good for him.
So if you guys need a doctor, you want to
Bergen County, he's in Jersey.
Yeah. Good guy. I've had him on the show a lot of times.
Great.
He was another one I kind of broke on the internet and now he has his own podcast. Go check him out. I'm always telling people where they can find good people.
No, it's good to spell it. drtro.com. I'm just giving the full website.
On his Instagram.
No, I'm at his website.
Okay.
And you can make appointments on his website.
There you go. Give him some plugs there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what.
Wow. He's lost a lot of weight. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
he
He's
lost
really
150
he's buff now.
Take it easy, Anna. He's a married man.
Oh my God. I'm just going to lose control, Vinny.
Yeah, and I think his wife listens to his podcast.
Oh no, I have to fight her.
Yeah, you'll have to fight her. Dueling.
Lady Trojan, I challenge thee to a duel.
Yeah, Troy's kind of hot.
He is.
Yeah. He's not Bob Zimmer hot.
See, I like that. I like that I like doctors that are doing this online stuff. Yeah. You know, because I'll hear a lot of doctors interviewed. I'm like, oh, they sound great. I want to make an appointment with them, but they won't do appointments. I don't know if they can't do it or they just don't want to do it. And you're like, it's like tarot cards. Like everybody wants their own thing read, you know?
Right. But
so look at my blood work.
Brett Shear operates in a few different states. You know, if you need a cardiologist to read your blood lipid panel.
That's awesome.
You know, so look, there's ways to do this. And I'm telling Brett all the time, man, get licensed in more states.
Yeah.
Let's help more people out. You know, these doctors, they can't get out of their own way. They're not good at business. I try to learn them, man, but they don't listen all the time.
They don't listen.
No. So, yeah, they're coming around. I like that these guys are doing this. Let's move on. Protein synthesis, Anna.
Yeah. What the heck is are you talking about gluconeo? No, that's not it. Gluconeogenesis is the creation of new glucose from
just protein. Synthesizing protein after you work out, you know, muscles are broken down.
Is that what Alex Robert was talking about? Alex Blom, when he was on the call? Remember he was on our show in Chicago and he's the one who cooked through every Eat Happy recipe.
Yeah. That guy.
That's and right. he asked us is like, do I have to get protein right after my workout? I feel like we're asked that question constantly.
And it comes up so often on my.
Well, that's a very pervasive misconception then, because literally at least once a week. And I don't know there's questions like that.
Yeah, look.
So it's got to be more than that.
People send me and go, look, this bro science dude said I need at least 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. I need 1.5 gram. I need 2 grams. Folks, you need about a half a gram per pound of lean body mass. So let's take me. I weigh right now 175. Okay. My lean body mass is probably somewhere around, I don't know, as lean as I am is probably somewhere around well, let's do the math. And I probably have 12% body fat. Let's call it.
Well, I'll get my little calendar. I mean, my calculator.
Yeah, I'm pretty lean right now. So let's say 12. So to be super lean.
Hold on. 175 times you said 12%?
Yeah, 0.12.
0.88. No, we want to, your lean body mass be 154.
Okay. I was going to say 155, so I would have been close.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
So times what is that? A half pound times 0.5.
Right.
So 77 grams of protein a day.
So anywhere between 75 and 100 grams of protein for a guy like me who's spending time exercising a lot. I do aerobics every day. I pump iron every day. This is my life. This is my job, is what I like to do. So I'm exercising a lot, and I never do more than somewhere between 75 and 100 grams of protein per day. Probably have more than that in that meat. So who knows? You know, I drink eggs, that kind of thing. So who the hell knows? But you don't need as much as they tell you need. How much protein is in a pound of meat, Anna? Let's do that math. Can you do that?
How many grams of protein in a pound? I know that there's, I don't know. I have to look it up.
All right. We got to do this. We got to help the audience.
I have to be honest with you. I have a hard time eating that few protein because I eat a lot of meat. So, okay. Well, it says according to gram of protein per pound at realeverything.com, a hamburger patty's 4 ounces is 28 grams of protein. Steak, 6 ounces, 42 grams. Most cuts of beef are 7 grams of protein per ounce.
Okay. So
if there's 16 ounces, so 16 times 7.
Okay.
112 grams in a pound.
Okay. So today, there's a lot because they're saying here, a half a pound of beef is 33 grams protein.
Okay.
So
Well, then screw this website.
That's 70-30. That's 70-30.
I mean, here's the problem with Googling answers like this. You and I both came up with two different things at the
completely different. Like I'm at
completely different.
I'm
1
at
pound. This one says mydietmealplanner.com. 1 pound of ground beef hamburgers, approximately 77.61 grams. That's closer to what you got, but I bet it completely varies based on the fat content.
Yeah, because I'm at 70-30 right here, which is what I eat. I put that in too. So I'm at 65.
So this is why this is crazy making to me.
Right.
Because when I enter stuff into, when I was doing the chronometer for 2.5 days until I got annoyed, it was like saying, you know, so I should be eating somewhere between 60 and 70 grams of protein a day. Right.
Right.
And I was definitely somewhere between 90 and 100 every day. And then I was like, I don't want to change what I'm eating though. So I don't know what to make of all that. That's why the counting makes me crazy. And I would rather just not count. There, I fucking said it.
So let's see here. Let me read this. I'm getting some weird stuff on eggs here. You see, all of this stuff, man, when you go online, everything just runs off in weird directions. And 1 tablespoon.
It looks like anywhere from 6.3 to 7 grams of protein
That's what I'm getting.
In an egg. Let's say 7.
So let's say 7. And I have what? I have at least 4 of those a day, sometimes as many as 8. So let's put the mean score at 6 a day. So what do we have there?
7 is 42 grams.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just over 100 grams, but I'm a guy who does at least an hour, if not 90 minutes of aerobics a day at a separate time from when I do another 90 minutes of weightlifting per day.
Right.
So it would stand to read. And by the way, I don't eat a pound of meat every night. I eat a pound of meat tonight.
Right.
Usually I have a 12-ounce steak, something like that. So that's, you know, that's about right. I'm right at about 100 grams of protein per day. So that's not bad.
According to your half-pound thing, you should be at 77.
Yeah, but exactly. I'm telling people at least that, but you don't have to strive to get 1 to 1.5.
Oh, okay.
You see, for me, it's at least that. You don't want to go much over that. And let me tell you this, if I started
if it was 1 gram of per pound of lean mass, you would have to eat 150 grams a day.
Right, 154.
That's cramming a lot of protein down your gullet.
Yeah. And tonight I had more meat than I would normally have. I had the whole pound. Right.
But see, this is what I'm saying. Can't you just use your appetite as once you've cleaned out your system and you've given NSNG a solid 30 to 60 days, can't you trust yourself to know like, oh, I'm going to eat this steak, but when you're full, you stop eating the steak, or I'm going to eat this, like you make up a thing like you just made up. And then if you can finish the whole thing, wow, you must have been hungry. Okay. But if you don't, then you save it for leftovers. And that's part of how your body works.
Right. But you see, I was into eating all of it because
you were hungry and you would work. But that's what I'm saying. Can we not count? Can't we just trust that our bodies will give us the signals? If we're hungry, we eat the whole thing. If we're not, we save it for leftovers. It's okay.
Anna, you're absolutely right. And by the way, I never count. I had to go to the computer just to figure out what I ate because I never look at it. I was shocked that it was that high. And look, today, all I had was 5 eggs this morning. That was this morning. I had my first cup of coffee had heavy cream in it. That was it. I'm trying to get all the calories. And then when I was on my rowing machine for 90 minutes, I did have one of my ultra fats, you know, NSNG Foods ultra fat. You know, there's not a whole lot of protein. It's mostly fat there. And then towards the end of my workout, I also had an ultra fat. I had 2 ultra fats today. And that's all I had.
Yeah. Everything
else was water and electrolytes. And as you know, my electrolytes have no sugar, so there's no calories in that. This was my calories for the rest of the day. Now, that was what, and I usually never talk about what I eat during the day, but there you have it. Drank some eggs this morning, ate some beef tonight.
Yeah. Oh, wait, how many eggs did you have?
Maybe 4, probably 5. I just crack them in the blender and, you know.
Oh, you drank them. You didn't fry them up.
Yeah. And I don't recommend that here in the podcast. I do that. I'm taking a chance in salmonella. Usually I cook them, but when I'm in a rush, I'll just.
Yeah, but the salmonella is if you just get shell in there. If as long as you don't get shell in there, it's going to be more right. Okay.
But I can't trust that people aren't going to get shell.
It is really easy to get shell in there, especially.
Anna, what I do, you see this cup?
Mm-hmm.
I crack them in this cup because if you crack them in a blender, some shell can get in there and you won't see it. If you crack it in a cup, I use the same cup for coffee, for eggs, for everything. I just take 1 cup a day and just keep using it and wash it at night and start over. So, and as a matter of fact, Tallulah and Serena would laugh at me because if I'm going to have a scotch, I might have it in that cup.
That's your favorite cup?
No, not just that cup, any cup. Whichever cup I start with in the morning, that's the cup. I might swish it out.
Gross.
I know. I'll just swish it and just.
I just don't want you to know that you had raw egg and then you're like, fuck it, I'm going to eat dinner out of this. And then, fuck it, I'm going to have a scotch out of this. Like, use a second cup. Just use another cup.
There's a little egg in it.
Live a little. Just,
Look, when I was a bachelor most of my life, man, it was like, I got a cup, I'm rocking and rolling.
See, to me, when you fill up the top of the dishwasher and not the bottom of the dishwasher, that means it's been a rough week. That means everything you've been eating has been out of a cup or a bowl. And that means you haven't had any real food all week.
That's a true state. I never thought of that before.
And especially if like it's just a lot of spoons. And
you're like, it's been
a rough week.
And I'm going to give you the one argument Serena and I have in this house.
Mm-hmm.
It's dishwasher. From the beginning of our relationship has been a dishwasher.
Okay.
If the relationship is over with, you could just go, you know what?
It's the dishwasher. They finally fell out over it.
Yeah, they couldn't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They fell out.
Can I settle this bet right now?
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to be something I'm going to settle. Go. No, tell me what it is. Oh, he has to take a sip of water. We are all dying to know what the one. I love that you guys just have one like really cute argument over a dishwasher. Like that's the only thing wrong with your relationship.
It is not a cute argument, Anna.
Okay.
It's not. There's nothing cute about it.
But I'm really proud of you guys for only arguing about that, even though you think it's really bad.
Serena believes in using the dishwasher.
Uh-huh.
Because apparently it saves water and it does all the work for you and what have you. Okay.
No, I mean, you just double wash the dishes.
I wash the plate. I put it on the rack. And when I need a plate again, I use a plate.
Yeah.
Again, it's a bachelor thing.
I don't think that's a bachelor thing.
I take 1 cup a day. After I drink the eggs out of it, I just swish it, a little water, swish it out, dump it out, use it for something else. Right? Use it for coffee again. There was coffee.
You could run a sponge in there. I'm just saying, like between eggs and coffee and scotch and chicken soup and whatever the fuck else you're putting in that cup.
I don't have scotch.
Just run a sponge. That's all I'm asking you.
Sometimes I run a sponge. Like if I put yogurt in it during the day.
I love that we're not going to lose you to hairy cell leukemia, but we're definitely going to lose you to some weird foodborne.
What did he die from? Oh, he had so much bacteria in him. He just died.
I'm going to give the biggest I told you so at your funeral.
Like, I've been doing it if I have yogurt in there, I'm going to make another coffee. I don't want yogurt like swimming around in my coffee. So
yeah, I know but you got to run a sponge.
I'll take my hand and do it. The hand.
Your hand. Your hand sounds very clean.
I keep my hands clean.
I'm sure your hand is just pristine.
Yeah.
Although sponges can get really gross too.
Yeah, sponges aren't the greatest thing in the world. So
Lauren Tarquinio, his sponge game, he replaces that thing so fast it'll make your head spin.
Does he replace
we have a sponge budget in this house. Let's put it that way.
Wait, all right, let me ask you if he does this. I do a mid.
He's the cleanest person you'll ever meet.
Does he boil his sponge?
He used to microwave it. You microwave it for 2 minutes, but then it made the microwave smell. So he just literally is like,
okay,
rookie, like how I like to buy cut flowers. He likes to buy fresh sponges. That makes him feel.
Anna, he's a rookie. What you do is you boil it first. And then after it boils, squeeze it out really good.
Uh-huh.
And then put it in the microwave for a couple of minutes.
No, he just puts it in the trash and he gets a new sponge out.
That's your rookie, man. He can double the life of that sponge.
Don't tell him that. He's so cheap. He'll do it.
I'm telling him because he's a WAP. He needs to look. I can.
Don't you tell? Oh, by the way, he's agreed to be on the show. And
Okay,
here's what we're gonna do. Not this time, obviously.
Yeah.
But he and I are gonna pick a word that we think you're gonna say a lot during the show.
Okay.
And during the show, if he says that word, he has to take a shot of marinara or a shot of some kind of alcohol.
Okay.
And it can't be all alcohol or he'll get too wasted because you say words a lot. And then by the end of the show, you have to guess what the word was.
Okay. You know what is,
and he's just going to sit there and take shots.
You know what's crazy about this? It's probably I stutter a lot. It's like every time he stutters, take a shot. He'd be drunk in 5 minutes.
I'm not going to make fun of anyone's speech impediment, Vinny. I love that you're like, oh, it's probably going to be something horrible.
Every time
it'll be like zone 2 or like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Every time
he says NSNG, you have to take a shot.
Yeah. Every time he says Kurt Lapeer, shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That
so
like fun.
Anyway, protein synthesis. This is good to know.
Yeah. And we just did mine. It turns out, folks, it was all over the page. So good luck with it.
Well, here's why I don't like the counting things, because things are all over the page. Now, I got a continuous glucose monitor from one of these companies. I'm going to put it on. It's 2 weeks long. I'm going to track everything. And I'm going to do it at the same time I get my little Aura ring. And I'm just going to track about it and do my blood every morning and every afternoon. By the way, to me, the blood work is always the most accurate of all the things. I mean, I know heart rate monitors are good too. But to me, it's like the blood work doesn't lie. So if you're eating a certain way and your blood work comes back, whatever it is, then, back off of that or add more of this, or to me, blood work is the thing. That's what you take that snapshot every 3 to 6 months if you can. And then you make adjustments from there. So I would rather base things off of my blood work because that seems to be a more accurate picture than like trying to track every single day. However, I am very curious about the continuous glucose monitor.
Yeah, I would like to know, folks, they also call them CGMs. You can go look into that.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I've never had one, but it's very interesting to track and see what happens.
Yeah. And so I guess I'm going to put it on.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to write down everything I eat and then and the time that I eat it. And we can.
You know who was doing that a few years ago? I was having dinner with him and he's like writing everything down and putting his fist next to the food and taking a picture. And he was chronicling all of this stuff. Remember Dave Feldman? He was in my first movie.
Yeah.
Keto Dave Keto.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was doing that.
Listen, it's 2 weeks and I will track it for 2 weeks. Like when I did the 28-day carnivore challenge, I took my blood sugar every morning when I woke up and ketone level every morning when I woke up, and then every day at 2:30. And I was rigorous about it and I did it. But I don't like I have so much to do,
Yeah.
I'm trying to do so many things that like, I don't feel like it's good to understand how things are working. It's good to stay on track. I get all that, but I feel like as humans, we have a lot more value to put out in the world to like sit and write down every little fucking boring detail
it's
about what we eat. To me, it's the most,
yeah.
I find it could be incredibly grating. What's the word? Just like fatiguing, writing down all those details. But that's me. Other people, it helps them stay on track, and that's good. You got to do what works for you, and I get that. But do you want to talk about the difference? Oh no, we talked about that. What was the other one? I
have muscle stimulation in zone 2 here. 2 different subjects.
Let's do muscle stimulation.
Okay, yeah, this is short. Remember, speaking of Leon Helmsley Jaeger,
mm-hmm.
Jaeger,
yeah,
Jagger, right? Anyway, she was asking about sarcopenia, which means muscle wasting, folks. And
that's
I just
right.
I want to address that once again. So basically what that is sometime in your mid-30s, excuse me, you will start to lose muscle, and lots of it. About a pound a year. If you're not exercising, if you're not doing anything to keep, you're losing bone too. But we're talking about muscle here and stimulating that muscle. And by the time you're 80, if you do the math, you've lost half of your body mass in muscle if you lose a pound a year. And,
Wow.
as you start losing more muscle overall, you start to become weaker and you become less active, and it starts playing on itself. Right. And then at some point we call it it becomes a medical condition, and we call it sarcopenia. And, I was talking about, hey, you can easily reverse this just by pumping iron. And so I've been getting, of course I do the consults every week. And people are saying, hey, I heard that podcast where you're talking about sarcopenia, and, how much working out. Everybody thinks that you got to go work out the way, Schwarzenegger did when he was a bodybuilder in order to reverse this. Right. If you have that kind of time in your life and you want to do that, that's great. Knock yourself out. And yeah, you could put on major muscle, even if you don't take any hormones, folks. You don't have to take any exogenous hormones. You don't have to be on PEDs. You don't have to be on juice, or as the young kids call it, gear. They don't call it steroids anymore. It's like, I'm taking gear. You don't have to do any of that, because your muscles will.
Hey, bro, I'm taking gear.
You want some gear, Anna?
Yeah, I'm just a cog in the wheel of this gear.
Yeah. How much gear you take, Anna? You on light gear? You're taking gear.
I take spokes of the wheel of the gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take fourth gear.
You ever take like a number 2 cog?
I do number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go number 2. Gear.
Gear. Yeah.
My gear gives me number 2. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Does it ever give you number 1 like at 3 a.m?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of gear.
Yeah, gear.
Yeah.
Bro,
it's aluminum.
It's funny how they take a word, steroid injections.
I don't know what they're saying.
And they don't want
to be fair, I don't know what most people are saying.
They turned it into a word. They call it gear now. Oh, okay, this is part of my gear. Okay, fuck you. You're a drug addict. How about that? How about that? You're in gear.
You know what gear I like? I like the tiny spoon to snort the cocaine. That's my gear.
Yeah, that's Anna's gear.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, Anna would have had the long little fingernail so she could scoop it up.
When I was 8.
Yeah.
I was 8. You guys, that's how rumors get started. Anna Vocino was an 8-year-old cocaine addict. An 8-year-old cocaine addict.
Her fucking womb was polluted.
What's that from? What's that? Is that a quote?
Scarface.
Oh.
You want to have a baby, your womb.
I never saw Scarface. Isn't that
You've
funny?
never seen Scarface?
Mm-mm.
I accidentally took a date to Scarface.
Well, did she stick around? Because it seems like if she would.
It turns out it was a one and done. You know what? I'll never forget this girl's name.
Scarface ruined your dating life.
I had one date with this girl. I think it was a blind date. She probably still lives. We should probably look her up on. And I'm going to give you the name.
Okay.
And I want you to see if you can find her on Facebook.
You have to text it to me.
No, I'm going to say her name out loud because she had the funniest name ever. I think she was Greek.
Someone's going to find her.
Yeah, someone's got to find Gabrielle Bubala. That was her name.
That's a fun name.
Gabrielle Bubala.
Gabriella Bubala.
We had exactly one date. Apparently it was around 1984, but I think that's when Scarface came out.
Is it Bubla?
I never asked her. I had one date with her. Gabrielle Bubala. She lived in Baton Rouge. I just remember she looked very Greek, Italian, whatever. Cute girl.
Oh, with the name like.
Is she around? Did you find her? Should I be looking her up?
No. That's not her. That's not her.
Why? What happened, Adam? We can't do the signs back and forth because.
I'm looking for her. Nope.
You know what? You know who would find her? Kurt Lapierre.
Yeah.
He finds everything. I need Gabrielle Bubala, who lived in Baton Rouge at some point in the 80s.
Oh, that's a guy. Gabrielle Bubala. I'm not finding anybody.
Anyway, I took her to Scarface, so we were one and done in the date department. It was a blind date.
Yeah.
Something like that. Cute girl. Anyway, Anna, what got us on to, Coke and gear. And okay, your muscles will stimulate at the same rate they did when you were 12 years old as when you are 50 years old. Might hurt a little more. It might take a little more time to recuperate, a little more recovery time. That's why it's important not to overwork muscles, right? You just want to run and gun on these things. You want to stimulate them and move on. Look, when I was young and I was in college and the whole thing, and I was trying to get the 405-pound bench press, yeah, I was crazy with the weights, right? I would do 10 sets of bench and then walk out of the gym. That was it, right? That kind of crazy kind of working out. You don't need to do that. You don't need to get into some crazy psycho routine. If you're not used to weights, keep the reps high at first, 15 to 18 reps, 2 or 3 sets. But as you get into better shape, as you know the synovial fluid is moving around in your joints, as you know that you're not going to hurt any soft tissue like your ligaments and your tendons and your meniscus and everything else, then you can start getting into 15 reps, 12 reps. And when you get into lower reps, you go into higher weight. So when you get down to 8 and 10 reps, you can even do more weight, but do 3 sets. Do a warm-up set and do 2 sets that count, and then move on. And you'll say, well, which muscles should I hit? Whichever ones you work are the ones. It's kind of like flossing your teeth. You only floss the ones you want to keep. You want to keep leg muscles, you do lunges, squats, leg press, this sort of thing. You want to keep your chest hanging around, some triceps, you do bench press, you do push-ups, you do incline bench. You want to keep your shoulders where they used to be, you do shoulder press, and so on and so forth. You want to have some strong backs, you don't want to get bingo arms, bingo wings, and that kind of thing. You do pull-ups, you do lat pulls, you do rowing. It's not that difficult. Only work the muscles you want to keep, and you don't have to overstimulate them to get muscular. And look, if you go on Instagram and you want to look like those chicks or whatever, remember, a lot of those girls are doing drugs. Don't.
What do you mean?
When you see these pumped up bodybuilding chicks on Instagram.
Oh.
People say, I want to look like this. It's like, yeah, they're on drugs. Women don't naturally look like that.
Right.
You want to save zone 2 until next week because you have something.
Yeah, let's save zone 2 until next week because I have a shorter question that I want to ask because I know that the heat wave is going crazy right now on the East Coast, and Jody Ross wrote me a question that I think is really good. But I just want to real quick. Can I talk about Villa Cappelli olive oil?
Yeah,
Villa Cappelli olive oil. As you all know, if you've been listening to the show for any length of time, Villa Cappelli olive oil is the best olive oil on the planet. And you get free shipping on orders of $100 or more. So here's what I suggest you guys do, because right now they have the 750 milliliter bottles left of the oil. How many of those? Here, we're doing math today.
Okay.
Here's what you do. Those are $28.99 times 3. I would get 3 bottles. Oh, wait. No, you need to get 4. Hold on.
750 milliliters is not a liter, right? That's 3/4 of a liter.
It's 3/4 of a liter. So if you get 4 bottles, that's like getting 3 liters. Well, that's $115.96. Now, I would go ahead and throw on there one of the little to-goes for $4.99 plus $4.99 is $120.95. Well, guess what? You're going to put the discount code Vinnie in there, VINNIE, and you're going to get 10% off your order. That's $12 off your order. So minus 12.
That's 108.
108.95. And then you're going to get free shipping. Go in there and get it because these things are going to sell out. I know that Steven is sending more stuff stateside. It's not here yet. It takes a while for it to come over. It's coming on a boat, just like our grandparents did, right over on that boat.
Stowed away.
Stowed away on the boat.
You mean what?
Oh, illegals. Oh.
Yeah.
So get your Villa Cappelli olive oil. It's wonderful. And by the way, my grandparents came over legally, and we found all this paperwork where some of them renounced the King Victor Emmanuel. It's funny to see all the paperwork. Really? I renounced him, and so that they could get their American citizenship. And now Lucy's getting her Italian citizenship through the ones that didn't renounce. And but nobody stowed away, as far as I can tell.
I don't know. Stowed away. All of mine were Italian all the way around. I think some of them on the Tripodi or Giardina side might have stowed away.
They stowed away. Yeah.
I think Papa Tripodi was, I think he stowed away.
I have my grandfather's Ellis Island papers. He came through in 1913, and then he signed up to serve in World War I for the American side. And that's how he got his citizenship. But because he did that, he renounced. Yeah. But we have many other family members that didn't. Anyway, Villa Cappelli is sending over what's really good in Italy, and that's their olive oil. So make sure you get your hands on some. It's so flavorful. It's so delicious. And you're going to love it. Use the discount code Vinnie, Vinnie, not with the wimpy Y, and you're going to get 10% off your order. Go to villacappelli.com, get your oil, get your salts, get your herbs, get the things. Okay. Here's from Jody. Anna, would you and Vinny consider addressing NSNG and extreme heat? You guys are used to it, but we Northerners are at 105 degrees. We aren't used to it. Not everywhere has AC here. I don't want to turn my oven on. And so figuring out crock pot meals. I don't know how often one should pee, so you know you don't have heat exhaustion. I got a little sick dancing outside on Friday. Just an SOS flag from the Great White North. So I feel like you could address the hydration and electrolyte issue, and then I could definitely give some cold NSNG dish ideas.
Okay, Jody, first and foremost, suck it up. Come on.
But they also, to be fair, wear shorts when it's like 42 degrees.
I know. They don't get. I think
they're conditioned for the cold.
Either I had a consult with Jody, or she was on the show once, and she was saying something like, if it's at least 2 degrees out, she'll go outside and walk.
Yeah, where like you and I would probably die.
It's like, if it's 2 degrees, I would just start crying like a baby in the house.
You don't ever get up from under the cover.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I quit. Life is over. Bring my revolver. I'm done.
I went to go visit friends in college who were in college in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and it was like February or March. I went to go visit them, and I was like, how do you get to class every day? I would never go anywhere.
And they do it. They do it like it's a matter of course. So I feel for you if it's hot. You know, look, the hotter it is, I'm like a lizard. The hotter, the better.
Yeah, I hate it.
As a matter of fact, Anna, I'll show you on my sidewalk.
I think it should just be 65 degrees all the time.
Yeah,
that's the bubble I want to live in.
It was so like the snakes are like complaining around my house.
Yeah. No, you love the heat.
Oh, here. This is a snake. This was on my driveway yesterday.
Aw.
Here's a little rat.
Snakey. Yeah. He's a nice snakey.
Yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah. I like snakes.
I don't like snakes.
I don't like spiders. I saw a brown recluse in the barn today. I wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with those. But snakes, you know, when you grow up with the water moccasins and the rattlesnakes and everything, you learn to hate them because they can kill you. They can kill you really fast.
Listen, I don't like water moccasins or rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
Or cottonmouths.
Yeah, but snakes.
Get them out.
You know, they surprise me every time. Not like in a happy, like, surprise. You know, I'm like, oh, whoa, snake. I was getting ready to get my car. And I was like, oh, snake.
My dad's literally the chillest human being you'll ever meet. He never shows any emotion. And one time when I was like, I don't know, 13 or 14, we were in the car and driving back to his and my stepmother's house from wherever. And he saw a snake, went out of the way to drive over it with his Cadillac, and then stopped, reversed, drove over it again, reversed again, and then drove away. And I was like, that man does not like snakes. No, that's the most emotion I've ever seen out of that man. Because he drove over a snake. I'm the same
way. I won't kill a rat snake because they're killing rats and chasing away, copper.
They are.
And everything else. So I leave nature alone. But man, I do not like them.
Baby snakes are cute, though.
No, they're not. There's nothing cute about a snake. Nothing.
I think baby snakes are cute.
I don't like them. But
we have baby goats right down the street. They're cute. They're goats the same size as Izzy. I took a video. I have to send it to you. It's ridiculous.
Goats are cute even when they get older.
I know they really are. They're really sweet animals.
The whole thing, yeah.
They're weird ass pupils. I don't know. I can't figure that out.
So weird. But yeah, I get it. I love the heat. The hotter, the better. I can't wait to build a sauna in that little building outside.
Oh hell yeah!
But look, get in touch with things like gazpacho, right?
No, I'll talk about the food. You talk about the electrolytes.
Okay. Electrolytes and you gazpacho.
You have me on the show and then you never ask me to give food tips.
Okay, hang on. Hang on. All right. As far as electrolytes go, for every 40, this is 40 ounces right here. For every 40 ounces, Jody, you can have 3 electrolytes, right? So if you want to play it safe, you could just put 3 electrolytes, just open them up and put them in 40 ounces. And that's that's more than enough. Every 12 to 14 ounces, you get an electrolyte. I'm talking about my electrolytes, by the way, the Pure Vitamin Club Ultra Salt.
Ultra salt.
Yeah.
I swear by those.
Oh, look, it's a
I
game
take
changer.
at least 2 to 3 a day in the summertime because we're always walking around.
Oh, I'm at least 6 or 8 today. I've done nothing but sweat all day. So, and it's hot here. So, I've been taking a ton of them. So yeah, take ultra salt with your water. I take them year round. Of course, you don't take as many in the winter. I don't sweat as heavily in the winter. I'm not sweating all day. And that's kind of basically all you have to do there. Anna, besides gazpacho.
Okay, well, I do have a pretty killer gazpacho recipe in Eat Happy too. But I hear, yes, you don't want to turn your oven on. That's a grave mistake. And if you turn on your stove, that will still make things hot. So you are going to have to figure out I have the most salad and cold recipes in Eat Happy 2. However, there's a bunch in Eat Happy 1. For example, Mimi's curried rice salad, which uses cauliflower rice, but you can pre-cook it in the microwave. A microwave will not give off heat. You can pre-cook the cauliflower rice in there, and it's a cold salad. And you want to make as much as you can cold. And for example, yes, you're right. The slow cooker meats are good. That will not warm up your kitchen too badly. In Eat Happy 2, the pork rillettes, which are slow cooked pork put into little pots with the fat, and you put it in your fridge and you just snack off of that. First of all, it's very filling. And second, you could chop up if you wanted to have some little carrot sticks or celery sticks with it. But I just eat the pork rillettes out of the thing. You want to stick to things like salad, but you're going to have to put things like avocado and protein on there so you get full. And Villa Cappelli olive oil, of course. If you have like a little George Foreman grill, you can use that. If you have a little toaster
Do they still make
oven,
those, Anna?
They do. Somebody in the group writes about her Foreman grill. Is it Jackie Jones? I can't remember. No, I can't remember who does it.
It sounds like a Jackie Jones type item. I don't know why.
I know it does. I feel like it's her who's talking about it recently, but it's fine. It's obviously we're all like these Traeger and Big Green Egg grill snobs in the group. We kind of nerd out on having the perfect smoked meats and the pellets and the this, that, and the other thing, but it doesn't matter. You can use a Foreman grill. You can use a really simple grill. If you grill outside, you're going to get sweaty and you're going to have to take a shower. Just know.
Can I jump in here?
Yes.
You know what I'm getting for myself? I just haven't gone out to get it yet. I miss cooking over charcoals. I'm going to buy one of those little Weber grills, the original Weber.
Yep, we have one.
One of those just to cook. Because when I was in college, I got a hibachi at a garage sale. Yeah. And I had a screened-in front porch at my apartment right there on Broadway Street in New Orleans. And I would just, put the charcoals underneath. I love that charcoal flavor in my meat. Sometimes I put
absolutely.
I put mesquite in my fireplace sometimes. I love the smell of mesquite.
You like things smoky.
Yeah, I'll chop a little mesquite wood in there and just, I take my little axe and chop some mesquite and put it in there. And it's just so, it's that flavor, man. It's like
if you have an Instant Pot, you could make things a little bit faster. And again, it will not make a bunch of heat. When Vinny was just talking about doing the shredded chicken, the fastest way to do the shredded chicken, and then you could have it for all week, is to put like 4 packs of chicken in your Instant Pot with a lot of salt and pepper, whatever spices you want. Sometimes I just do a half a jar of salsa and with the salt, always salt and pepper. You have to salt and pepper everything. And you turn on the Instant Pot on manual for 20 minutes, let it cycle up and cycle down. Boom. You have instant shredded meat to last you in whatever application you want. And you don't have to, to me, it's good cold too, but I also like cold meats. If you don't like cold meats, you will have to heat stuff up eventually. Just heat it up in the smallest pan possible. I see you guys heating shit up in giant pans. Well, if you heat up a giant pan, it requires a lot of heat and you're going to make it hot in there. So just heat up whatever you're heating in the smallest pan. Use the smallest amount of surface area possible. He's playing a song, I could tell.
You would hear it if I was playing a song, Anna.
You're about to. Bill, this is your warning. Bill, this is your 2-minute warning. Countdown to Vinny playing a song.
I was just coming up with a song for the end of the show. That's all.
That's it. We did it. We're done.
Okay. Anna.
Everybody go to eathappykitchen.com and get the new flavors of sauce. The site will be up by the time this podcast comes out.
Yeah. So today, when this podcast comes out, go to Eat Happy and get all your gravy needs, all of them.
You have gravy needs.
Everybody's got the gravy needs.
Which, by the way, if you want to heat up the gravy and it's too hot in the summer, you can microwave it.
Yeah.
Just make sure you put it in a glass dish and cover it with a wax paper or a parchment paper so it doesn't splatter all over your microwave.
Yeah. Folks, also check out, besides Eat Happy Kitchen, Eat Happy cookbooks. We have them here. It's a Bible around here. And we use both of them, Eat Happy and Eat Happy too. Go check it out. AnnaVocino.com. There's a lot of freebies there. Go check out what she's doing.
A lot of recipes there.
Her email list and so on and so forth.
Maybe next week I'll cook it. I'll cook in the kitchen. I think it's time to cook in the kitchen again.
Anna, maybe you can make my taco recipe. That's your taco recipe, and show people how to use the taco seasoning and the whole thing. No, we kind of did that.
No, I'm gonna make something with the new sauces.
All right. Okay. Maybe make gazpacho.
Ooh.
Huh?
Absolutely.
It's summertime. Let's help Jody Ross out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She's hot. She wants to cool off.
Yeah.
Let's give her some gazpacho.
Yeah.
All right. So go check out everything Anna's doing, folks. Before you
put avocado on your gazpacho because it's not filling enough.
Yeah, no, you got to.
And I love gazpacho, but it needs more. It needs some. You know what I mean?
It's a starter, Anna. You don't finish
starter.
It's a starter.
It's an amuse-bouche.
Yeah, it's an amuse-bouche.
Yeah,
that's Anna speaking Italian. Folks, if you like what's going on here, before you go to Amazon, go to VinnieTortorich.com. Click through the banner. Puts coal on the fire, gets my train down the track.
Yeah.
Kurt Lapierre is going to actually think, wait, did he mean Italian? Or did he mean French?
Oh, God.
Go
I don't think he knows the difference.
He doesn't. He's from the Midwest. He couldn't possibly know.
He's from North Dakota. He doesn't know Italian and French.
Anyway.
He knows French fries.
Yeah, he thinks
spaghetti.
French. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spaghetti. Okay. Also, we have the superfan page at VinnieTortorich.com. Go check out the vitamins at purevitaminclub.com. And also, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to turn off the video now and just keep on with the show here.
Wait, Vinny, when does your omega-3s, your fish oil stuff come out?
They're coming out. They might be a few weeks late because I notice I hate when people go, well, because of COVID. We're still kind of dealing with COVID. We can't get all of the material.
Well, supply chains everywhere are crazy.
Right. We're having trouble with bottles. Getting the bottle.
Vinny, I can't get jars.
Yeah. So
I told you we only have 500 jars of each flavor. I'm supposed to make 3,000 jars of each flavor. There are no jars. So I feel you on this. And when it sells out, it sells out.
Of the product, all the components to make them, but there's no reason to make them because we don't have the jar. So we might be a few weeks late. I hate going, because
is that also your same bottles that you source for your other products?
Yeah, but you order all that way ahead of time
with the label and everything.
Labels and all that is, and this is a bigger box. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do. But it's coming and we're working on another product right behind it. There goes that taco.
It's a repeater.
It was just as good. That's how you know it was good. Yeah. No, actually, it was the coffee I had. For some reason, I guess it was caught there for a minute. Let me turn this off so that Bill doesn't have to cut it out. How do you pause? Okay. Goodbye, everybody on, how do you say the YouTube.